What do we expect to happen? What's our prediction? Keys to the game. Is there an SEC matchup that we're really intrigued by? We'll discuss coming up next here on Locked On Sooners.
You are Locked On Sooners, your daily podcast on the Oklahoma Sooners. Part of the Locked On Podcast Network, your team every day.
Again, thanks for making Locked On Sooners your first listen every single day. We're part of the Locked On Podcast Network, your team every day. Jay, let's talk a little SEC action before we get to our keys and prediction, because there are no top 25 matchups this weekend, but there is an intriguing game, a couple intriguing games, I think. Is there one on the schedule that you're most interested in?
Ole Miss traveling to Fayetteville to play against Arkansas. That's probably the one that jumps out to me the most. Arkansas is done a really good job of playing the quote-unquote spoiler. But I think the big thing out of Arkansas is, for me, in that game, is that Ole Miss has Georgia the next week. And so that's a very good trappy opportunity that can make things a little squirrely for them. That Arkansas is going to go out there, play this as this is their Super Bowl, and then Ole Miss they've struggled offensively this season, even against us. I mean, they got 26, but that's way below the average that they had. When you take out the SEC game, this way below what they had been scoring. Got an SEC, they barely been. I don't think they've hit 30. They haven't hit 30 in any of their games, and so I'm used to Ole Miss putting up more points, but that one's the one jumped out to me. I'm ready to see what that's going to look like.
Yeah, Arkansas's only losses in SEC play are to Ole Miss and LSU. Sorry, no, Texas A&M. They're playing Texas A&M by 4 and to LSU. So it's a really fun matchup. We saw that Ole Miss struggles a little bit with the running quarterback. Taylor Green can move, man, and that's going to be a fun matchup. The one I'm excited about, Texas A&M at South Carolina in prime time on ABC and ESPN+. Dude, if Texas A&M is legit, they should be able to go on the road and beat South Carolina. But as we saw, that South Carolina rush is phenomenal. Those dudes up front along the defensive line can absolutely go. And that's going to be a really, really fun matchup. I think those of you that like trench play and you watch football for trench play, this will be a highlight of your weekend, because Texas A&M's offensive line is really good. South Carolina's defensive line is really good. And can Marcel Reed avoid Kyle Kennard and Dylan Stewart and make plays in the open field and continue to run the ball with effectiveness? That is going to be a really, really fun matchup to watch this weekend.
I saw that Texas A&M is only a 2.5-point favorite in that game.
Crazy to me.
That is the lowest spread that I would have ever expected in that game. I would have never expected that spread to be that low. And when I saw that, I'm like, that feels trappy. It feels like they're trying to get as many people on Texas A&M as possible. So hopefully Texas A&M pulls through, but 2.5 feels really low for a team that's undefeated in the SEC right now on the road as well.
Remember last time this happened, Missouri was a 2.5-point dog going on the road to College Station against Texas A&M.
Yep.
All the money was flying in on Missouri, but that it never really changed, and Texas A&M blew them out. So who knows what's going to happen here, but it's going to be a phenomenal matchup. Give me a key to the game offensively for the Oklahoma Sooners.
Key to the game here is the run game. How do we run against Maine? Of all teams, how does this offensive line open up holes, and what does the run game look like? That's going to tell me everything I need to know about this team for the rest of the season. If we cannot figure out a way to run the ball against Maine, in which Javonte Barnes almost had 100 yards. He had 70-something yards against Ole Miss, and Jackson Arnold, his actual rushing yards was 99, but the net was less because of all the sacks. But you got to be able to run against this team. If you can't do it, then we've got questions.
Yeah, I think they'll run it. I think they'll run it fine. They'll build on it. For me, it's just showing more improvement, finishing drives. You got into the red zone a couple times against Ole Miss and you didn't come away with any points. So get into the red zone, come away with points. Again, I'm not even concerned about the big plays. If you get a big play, great. If you don't, but you drive the ball consistently and you're able to score points consistently like that, that to me is a better sign of a healthy offense than 3 punts and then, hey, we hit a 70-yard touchdown pass, or, 2 plays, 50 yards for a touchdown, or taking over on a short field because the defense gives you a turnover and scoring a touchdown. I want to see consistently this offense be able to take the ball from their 25 and drive the length of the field and come up with points. That's what I want to see in this game. Defensively, Jay, what's the key?
Defensively, turnovers. We need to get back to our old turnover ways. Turnovers and sacks, the two things that we start the season off very well with, we need more of those. So my expectation is a very high number of sacks and at least 2 turnovers. As long as we do that, I'll feel super comfortable about how the defense is playing, because I don't care if they get an interception. We should be stripping more balls.
Yeah,
we were doing really good with that all season up until the Texas game. Even though we got an interception in that game, we just disappeared from there. Like that portion of the game that we had, it just gone. It just disintegrated, right? We did it against Auburn. That's how we won the game. We need more of those, because that's the thing that keeps the defense with confidence, is being able to just take the ball away at will. We need to do more of that. I mean, we did a lot of that against Tennessee. That was but anyway, that we need to do more of that, John. I need to see that, and I need to see more sacks. If we can get those sacks out there, I think I'll be satisfied. What about you?
Yeah, defensive splash plays are huge for building confidence and giving them just more energy and more life, right? Anytime that they can either get a tackle for loss that forces a 4th down or come up with a sack that forces a punt, huge. Again, for me, man, I'm just coming at this simple-minded, I think, this week, and it's no coverage bust. I just want to see assignment sound football from start to finish. If they play assignment sound football, they can hang with any team in the nation. Obviously, they're going to be way more talented than Maine. They should be able to impose their will defensively. But I just want to see assignment sound, because that's the thing that's really hurt them, whether it was the Texas game, the Ole Miss game, the South Carolina game. That's what's hurt them in their 3-game losing streak, is just losing guys in coverage busts, not being assignment sound in the run game, and getting gashed because of it, or allowing a big play because of it. You play assignment sound football, and you can build on that moving forward. You can say, hey, look at the way we played this scheme. Everybody was doing their job. Everybody was in the right place. We shut it down. When we aren't doing our job, when one guy's getting out of place, then we're giving up a big play. You can teach tape that, and you can build on that moving forward. So that's what I want to see out of this team. What are you giving us for a score prediction?
Over under set at what? The total was what? 45 and a half?
I think maybe it was 45 and a half. I might have misspoke, but I thought it was 48.
It could be 48. You may actually be right. I think it is 48. That was where my brain went. I wasn't sure. I couldn't remember if it was 45 or 48. Let's see. It's locked out. 45 and a half. I was right. Yay.
You're right.
45 and a half. 50-0. I think we run up score.
Yeah, this feels very much like the Temple game, maybe worse. I think you have a chance to go and put up some big numbers. And listen, you've already used Michael Hawkins' redshirt year. Just let him play some more. Give Jackson Arnold a half to go do his thing, and then come out of halftime, do the halftime adjustment thing, come out, get a series in the third quarter or 2, and then let Michael Hawkins have some time in the third quarter, fourth quarter to finish the game out. And that's kind of what I'm thinking. I'm thinking something like 66-3, maybe a field goal, but that's just because I don't want to put the shutout jinx on the team. That's just kind of where I fall on that one. But I think Oklahoma has a romp. I think things come together. The good stuff they did in the first half against Ole Miss, they build on that. And again, they had some good moments towards the end of that game against Ole Miss. It's just the pass protection just absolutely failed them. Remember, they drove into the red zone with about 5 minutes left to play. And then the pass protection just completely broke down, and they had no answer at that point. So they were able to get the ball where they needed to, just couldn't finish the drive. So I'm expecting them to finish drives consistently, regularly, and create a few big plays. And I might even expect a defensive touchdown in this game off a strip sack from a guy like R. Mason Thomas, and then somebody picks it up and rumbles for a touchdown.
Spicy.
Yeah, let's get spicy. This might be the only time we get a chance to get spicy for the rest of the season. So that's going to do it for today's episode of Locked On Sooners. Thanks so much for tuning in, being a part of the show. Subscribe to the show wherever you get your podcasts. We're free and available on all podcast platforms and on YouTube. So hit that subscribe button and that notification bell to let you know when new episodes drop. Follow Jay on Twitter at Unfair Sports. Check out his channel, Unfair Sports, over on YouTube as well. Follow me at John 9 Williams. The show is at Locked On Sooners on all the social media platforms. You can also read my work covering the Sooners over at SoonersWire.com. But until next time, where we'll break down what happened Oklahoma versus Maine on Saturday in our live show. Make sure you tune in for that. He's Jay Smith. I'm John Williams. Boomer.
Sooner. All right.